Hello, everyone. It's the one and only magnificent bird, Buck Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, I am back at it with another AEW video, and this is going to be the AEW Wrestle Dream 2025 results, as I'm going to go over and talk about all the matches. I'm even going to briefly talk about all the pre-show matches, but I'm just going to real quick go over them before we get to the main show. And yes, by the thumbnail, as you can see, that is Sting. We will talk about that when that moment happens. Yes, Sting did come back, probably just for the brief appearance at Wrestle Dream because he said he's retired. Yeah, so we will talk about it when that moment happens. So, before we get started, I hope all of you are doing good and staying safe out there. And like always, if you like the video, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below. And if you aren't subscribed already, feel free to hit that subscribe button if you would like to. And turn on all notifications so you know the second I upload to YouTube. And if you want to share the video, that'd be great too. And if you do any of those things, that would be very much appreciated. Now, let's kind of quickly go over the pre-show matches. So here we go. First up, we have the conglomeration of Ishii, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong going up against Claudio, Wheeler Useless, or Wheeler Yuta, Pac, and Daniel Garcia. I thought, and I said that the Death Riders were going to win, and that's exactly what happened. The Death Riders did pick up the win in this one. So there we go. Next up, we have FTR versus Jet Speed. And again, I said that FTR was probably going to win. And that's exactly what happened. FTR picked up the win. All right. The match was fine. It was okay. All right. Next up. This one I'm going to spend even less time to talk about. We had no idea who the hell Eddie, Kingston, and Hook were facing. Well, it turns out they were facing a group that I had never heard of before. The Frat House. But anyway, Eddie, Kingston, and Hook picked up the win. The last of the pre-show matches before we actually start to get into the meat and potatoes of pretty much most things. We have another tag team match between Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford going up against Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron. And I said if Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford win, that Harley Cameron would get pinned. And I also said if Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron won, that Penelope Ford would be the one to get pinned. And well, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron did win the match, with Willow Nightingale pinning Penelope Ford. Honestly, I would have to say this is out of all the pre-show matches, this is probably the one I cared about the most, to be honest with y'all. But, alright, let's go ahead and get into the main show. The first match we got is between Jamie Hayter versus Tekla. I said who I thought was going to win. I thought Tekla was going to win. So, let's go over it. Okay, so last time, before this match, Jamie Hayter was in action against Sky Blue. Jamie Hayter beat Sky Blue on Dynamite October 15th. And, okay. And then also, she was in a multi-women match with Tekla, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart. They had defeated Chris Statlander, Tony Storm, and Harley Cameron. Obviously, Harley Cameron taking the pinfall loss there. Okay, so the rivalry between Jamie Hayter and Tekla dating back to Tekla's debut in the company took center stage in the first match of the pay-per-view. So, Hayter started fast, laying into the Toxic Spider, but Tekla seized control for a good portion of the match, working over the neck of Jamie Hayter. The former AEW Women's World Champion fought her way back into the bout, defiant as she answered everything Tekla threw at her, only to wind up trapped in the octopus submission. Hayter broke the submission with a backbreaker and moments later rocked her opponent with two lariats to score the pinfall win One, two, three. Jamie Hayter beats Tekla. After the match, Queen Amanati celebrated with Hayter while Sky Blue and Julia Hart watched from the stage. I thought it was a good way to open the pay-per-view, and I certainly thought it was way better than any of the fucking pre-show matches. That's for sure. That's why I kind of didn't go into the pre-show matches, barely any. I wanted those results to be quick lightning speed. Just let's get them over with because we got more matches to get into, right? So this was a strong, hard-hitting match between these two intensity physical workers. It was interesting to see Jamie Hayter score the win. I honestly thought that Tekla was going to win this one, and should she have won it? I don't know if she should have. I don't know. I thought that's why I picked Tekla. I did pick Tekla. Hey, I got that one wrong, but it was a good match nonetheless. But hopefully Jamie Hayter can carry this momentum, but we'll talk about an interesting direction that, I don't know if it's interesting, but we'll talk about a direction that could lead to a interesting choice. Now that doesn't mean, when I say interesting, that doesn't mean it's a good choice, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we get to the matches. Okay, next up, we have the $500,000 tag team match between the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express. A prize of $500,000 was on the line as Jurassic Express battled the Young Bucks. The location, I have no idea how the hell to say this name, but it's the arena that the pay-per-view took place. Okay, so apparently this is the same arena in which Jungle Boy, he's not Jungle Boy anymore, but Jack Perry and Luchasaurus retained the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Oh no, okay, sorry, no, my bad. No, this is actually the same arena as when Jack Perry and Luchasaurus's reign as AEW World Tag Team Champions came to an end at the hands of the Young Bucks back several years ago. So, we have a back and forth battle which saw the babyfaces dominate to start, cutting the desperate heels off at every turn. The Bucks, though, seized control and isolated Perry, cutting him off from Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus ultimately received the hot tag and exploded into the match, wearing out both opponents with his size and fury. The action descended into a wild, chaotic match defined by high spots and near falls, specifically after Meltzer drivers from both teams, a doomsday device from Jurassic Express, could not keep the Bucks down as Matt and Nick Jackson fought for every dollar of the potential prize. Ultimately, though, the babyfaces were driven by the money and their first victory over the heels and were able to achieve just that. I did pick the Young Bucks to win. I got that wrong. I thought there was going to be some way that the Young Bucks were going to win because that $500,000 being on the line, that threw me off because the Young Bucks have been winning. There have been matches for money on Dynamite and such, and the Young Bucks have won like every fucking one of them up to this point. So that threw me off. If that $500,000 wasn't on the line, I probably would have picked Jurassic Express. So I got that wrong, and you know what? I'm glad to be wrong. I don't always like being right. No, not always. It's good to be wrong every once in a while. But it still feels good to be right most of the time, but not all the time. I like to be wrong sometimes. Okay, so after the match, Jurassic Express offered their hands to the Bucks only to be attacked by the Don Callis family's Josh Alexander, Lance Archer, and Mark Davis. The Bucks walked out to the dismay of Kenny Omega, who made the save and stood tall with the winners because, the Young Bucks, usually they would have been a part of that attack, but no, they didn't want anything to do with it. Are they trying to turn the Young Bucks babyface? I think they are trying to do that, but will that go over well? I don't know, man. We'll see, but I think that's kind of what they're trying to do because, like, damn, like Jurassic Express just beat them, and then they're still offering to shake their hands, but then they get attacked, Jurassic Express. But then the Young Bucks don't join in on the attack. Instead, they get out of there. I guess they are trying to make them heal. I don't know how I feel about that though. Um, yeah, this was a pretty good match. This is a pretty good way to start. Well, the first match technically started the pay per view, and I just got to say this for AEW pay per views this year, starting with Double or Nothing. AEW has been hitting consistently really fucking good with their pay per views. You have Double or Nothing, which was really good. All in July. Forbidden Door in August. All Out in September. Now Wrestle Dream. Ever since Double or Nothing in May, in my opinion, they have got their shit together and they have not had a bad pay per view since Dynasty. Dynasty, I gotta say, has been the dog shit of pay-per-views of this year for AEW. There's not a fucking doubt. And in my opinion, they finally got their shit together. They're like, we cannot deliver 2 dog shit pay-per-views in a row. We can't fucking do it. So in my opinion, they definitely got their crap together, starting with Double or Nothing, and it has kept up since. This was a really good match. My question is, what the hell is Jurassic Express going to do with $500,000? It's not actual money, but it's part of it's a prop. It's a part of a storyline. It's a MacGuffin or whatever you want to call it. So I thought the Young Bucks were going to win it, and I thought that they were going to be, Nick Jackson. I forget who it is. One of them likes to go to the damn casino slots and. Anyway, I thought that's what they were just going to do, more of the same, but that is a nice surprise. Okay, next up, we have a tornado trios match between the Hurt Syndicate of Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP versus the Demand, Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Tia Leone. All right, so I gotta admit, this match, it wasn't as good as the other 2 matches. And I feel like this match, so these 2 of the Demand and the Hurt Syndicate have had 3 matches. This is the 3rd match. I feel like their first 2 matches were significantly better than this one. The street fight on Dynamite being my favorite one of the 3. This is not as good as the other 2 matches of the card so far. So, the long months rivalry between the Hurt Syndicate's MVP Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and the Demand's Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leone came to a head. Came to a head last night as the 2 teams clashed in a Tornado Trios match in which all 6 combatants could battle at all times. Still, a pinfall or submission had to take place inside the ring. The Demand controlled at one point, isolating MVP, but it was not enough. The dominant Hurt Syndicate recovered with Benjamin launching himself over the top rope, whipping out the heels at ringside at one point. Moments later, the artist formerly known as the Gold Standard, Shelton Benjamin, pinned Bishop Khan to secure the win and put an end to the rivalry. Now, I thought there was a chance that Ricochet and them was going to win, but no, the Hurt Syndicate ended up winning. You know what? I think I got all the pre-show matches right, but so far I'm 0 for 3 on picks of the main show. I'm pretty sure because I picked. I picked Tekla, I picked the Young Bucks, and then I picked the Demand. I don't know why in the hell I thought Ricochet and them was going to win. I thought maybe that was a way to help push Ricochet to a higher level, but apparently they don't have that. They don't have plans for that. Evidently not. So, okay. this was a fine wrestling match. It was okay. It wasn't as good as the Jurassic match and Young Bucks and Tekla and Jamie Hayter match. Yeah, so now, since the Hurt Syndicate won that match, the Hurt Syndicate will now challenge the Ops for the AEW World Trios Championships. I believe it's coming up on Wednesday on Dynamite, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be an interesting match, especially what happened later on. But we'll we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Next up, well, you know what? I think I forgot a match. Shit, that's okay. That's okay. We're not going to be talking about this match next. I forgot. Hey, damn it. Okay, the next match is for the TNT Championship between Mark Briscoe facing the TNT champion Kyle Fletcher. I knew I was forgetting something. Oh well, it is what it is. It's fine. But that means you guys get to look at these two beautiful ladies a little bit longer. That's okay. That's all right. All right. Okay, so now, all right, let's get into it. Kyle Fletcher looked to continue his momentum run here in 2025 as he defended his TNT championship against Mark Briscoe. The Protostar had the opportunity to take the lead in their career series 3-2 because Mark Briscoe beat Kyle Fletcher twice and Kyle Fletcher beat Mark Briscoe twice. So they're going to settle that debate on who's going to win that third match. Or beat them the third time, rather. This will be the fifth match. Okay. So, a back and forth affair that saw neither competitor gain a sustained upper hand. It featured the type of even battle one would suspect from two stars who would have done battle as many times as they have over the last year. Briscoe uncorked the froggy bow on 3 different occasions late in the match, seeking to drive the fight out of his opponent, but he was unable to keep the Aussie bad guy down. Everything Fletcher threw at his opponent, though, Briscoe had an answer for, refusing to allow him to seize the upper hand. Down the stretch, Fletcher sent the challenger into the referee, delivered a low blow and a brain buster, and Mark Briscoe kicked out at 2 after that. A look of disbelief on his face, the champion sent Briscoe into the turnbuckle, then dragged him to the top rope, delivered another brain buster, this one into the turnbuckle, and finally secured the win and successfully defended the title. So there you go. Kyle Fletcher beat Mark Briscoe. Okay, so Briscoe has some of the best chemistry of his singles career with Kyle Fletcher. This was a really good match. In my opinion, it was better than the last match, for sure. I think so far, the worst match was the Hurt Syndicate versus Demand match, but oh man, oh wait a minute, we got one that's going to top that worst match. We'll talk about it. Okay, so yeah, this was another great match from the two of them. I mean, shit. Mark Briscoe, he's a hell of a worker. Kyle Fletcher is a hell of a worker. Absolutely. And will they continue this feud, or is this going to be it? I honestly, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Because I have no idea. But is this going to be, how much longer is Kyle Fletcher's title reign going to be? Is Mark Briscoe going to be the guy to beat him? Well, if that was the case, he would have beat him here. I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Okay, now we can finally talk about this match. I didn't have the picture for the previous match. My bad. Now we're going to talk about the AEW Women's World Championship match between Timeless Toni Storm facing the champion Kris Statlander. Was Timeless Toni Storm able to regain the Women's World Championship for the 5th time in her career? Or was Kris Statlander able to successfully retain? Let's find out. So, Kris Statlander shocked probably everyone, except for a few people, and myself included, shocked the wrestling world by upsetting Toni Storm in a fatal 4-way back at All Out. That also included Tekla and Jamie Hayter. Saturday, she sought to prove she was not a one-night wonder as she defended against Storm in a high-profile championship encounter. The defending title holder controlled the bout early and often, using her size and strength advantage to her advantage. A momentary pause to acknowledge the crowd, though, allowed the former champion to mount a comeback. It was short-lived, though, as Statlander continued her offensive. A running hip attack, and Storm Zero allowed the challenger one more shot at fighting her way back into the match, but the champion popped right up after the latter delivered a basement drop kick and added an Arena 450 splash for a 2 count. Storm escaped the same seatbelt pin that ended her title reign from last month, but fell prey to a Saturday Night Fever. She tried for a submission, but Storm refused to quit, and she had no choice after a second Saturday Night Fever from Chris Statlander, who picked up the win. And a show of respect from Storm further legitimized the champion in her new role as the face of the women's division. Oh God, here we go. This is where the shits of Wrestle Dream hits right here. Only as Toni Storm and Chris Statlander are showing respect for each other, only for 10 belts Mercedes Moné to interrupt and tell Chris Statlander to get the fuck out of my ring. You know how bad? Oh God. You know how bad that makes Chris Statlander look? Remember, for those that watched my predictions, I said I thought Chris Statlander was going to win, and she did. And remember when I said I had a scary thought that potentially Mercedes Moné is going to end up facing Chris Statlander? Well, there you have it. There you fucking have it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Wrestle Dream has been nearly perfect until Mercedes Moné has to show her fucking face. Tony Khan. You know what? Let's move on. Okay, we'll talk about it a little bit more. So yeah, Chris Statlander she gets out of the ring and okay, so let's talk about this match before we get into what's going to happen next. So this was a good physical match that really highlighted Statlander as a champion who even the best of the best in women's wrestling could not defeat. It added credibility to Statlander's run, which unfortunately, in about a month, that ain't going to really fucking matter, as we will get into. It added credibility to Statlander's run, cemented Storm not only one of the best in the women's division, but one of the biggest stars in the company, but also a selfless one. And here we go. We'll briefly talk about this. The tease for Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné. It was, I don't know if I would say it was solid, but okay. All right, let's talk about this next one. Why Mercedes Moné come out there is because, next up, she has an open challenge for the TBS championship. And she had won her, as you can see right there, it says 10 belts, Mercedes Moné. Oh, do I have some fucking thoughts on this? Let's get into this. Okay. So, who answered the open challenge? Well, Mercedes Moné is like, I want to face any of the current champions right now because I want to become 11 belts Mercedes Moné. Spoiler fucking alert. She becomes 11 belts Mercedes Moné by the end of this fucking match. That's when Mina Shirakawa, the interim Ring of Honor Women's Television Champion Mina Shirakawa, answered Mercedes Moné's open challenge, putting her gold on the line for a shot at dethroning the CEO as the longest reigning TBS champion. Having lost to the heel back at Dynamite 300, she fought the win. She sought the win that has eluded her and the opportunity to make history and rob Monet of it all of the same time. You know what? I'm sorry. I can't. The point is, fucking Mercedes Monet, she wins. Great. She's 11 belts Monet. And after the match, guess what Mercedes Monet does? She offers a challenge to Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's World Championship. Gee, I wonder who's gonna fucking win that match. It sure in the fuck ain't gonna be Chris Statlander. So, by the time we go into 2026, great. Mercedes Monet is at least gonna be 12 belts Monet. Tony Khan, look, I like AEW more than most people. But Tony Khan, do you want to go out of fucking business? Because Mercedes Monet is going to help you go out of business, dude. Yeah, you know what? I would rather watch the fucking Death Riders every single fucking hour than put up with Mercedes Monet. She's that bad. She's worse than the fucking Death Riders. Great. So, Mercedes Monet has issued a challenge to Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's World Championship at Full Gear. Great. Mercedes Monet has already beaten Chris Statlander twice. This is going to be number fucking 3. Man, this shit. Up to this point, Wrestle Dream is, it's still a pretty good pay-per-view, but this is the worst of the whole fucking pay-per-view. Like, why was Mercedes Monet needed for the pay-per-view exactly? I don't know, bro. God, I hope I'm fucking wrong and they have Chris Statlander beat her, but I fucking doubt it. I seriously fucking doubt it. At this point, I mean, my God, I don't know what it's going to take for Tony Khan to realize that people do not want to see all of these worthless, meaningless titles and Mercedes Monet winning all the time. Mercedes Monet has lost, but at this fucking point, it doesn't even feel like she's fucking lost. The only person to beat her was Toni Storm back in July, but it doesn't even honestly fucking feel like it. Because she still is winning, win after win after win after win. I mean, it's okay to have a couple of losses. Shit. I mean, half the fucking belts, I don't even remember where they come from. And one of the championship belts is not a real championship belt. It's the Owen Hart Women's Championship from when she won the women's side of the Owen Hart tournament. That does not count as an actual championship, but of course they gotta make it look good and say, oh yeah, now 11 belts, soon to be 12 belts Monet. It's a fucking shame. I feel so fucking bad for Chris Statlander because she's about to be fucking buried, man. I feel so fucking bad. It was nice seeing Chris Statlander as the women's world champion while it lasted. Damn. All right, let's move on. I forgot another picture. Now, we're not going to talk about this match. I just got to switch that picture from fucking Mercedes Monet. I fucking have to. Oh, she's like pissing me off, dude. And Tony Khan, you wonder why people don't fucking watch your product. You don't give other women a chance in your company. Man. Anyway, let's talk about something a little bit more positive, okay? Next up, we have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match between the champions Brodito defending against Takeshita and the unified champion Okada. So, we have some simmering tension between the Don Callis family. Teammates of Okada and Takeshita was at the forefront of this match, in which they challenged Brody King and Bandino for the tag team gold. The team operated like a well-oiled machine early, working over Brody King until a hot tag to the reigning Ring of Honor World Champion sparked a comeback for the babyface champions. The fight spilled to the floor, with King delivering a crossbody to Okada that snapped a guardrail in half. And damn, that looked that looked brutal as hell, dude. Because Brody King, he's a big guy, he's a big man, you know what I mean? So he could easily do that. So now they go back in the ring, though the champions got a bit ahead of themselves, attempting the Americarana. That's a dance move. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but y'all know what the hell I mean. Only to be leveled by the challengers. Bandina sparked a second comeback, rocking Takeshita with a spinning back fist. Action broke down from there, with each competitor hitting signature stuff, accumulating with a shooting star press. Okay, hitting a shooting star press from the masked babyface to Takeshita for another dramatic near fall. Several minutes of chaos ensued, with escalating action climaxing with a four-way German suplex spot that left all four competitors down. Okada eventually and finally delivered a Rainmaker to Takeshita, and it looked like, okay, so Okada was looking to deliver a Rainmaker on Bandino, but Bandino moved out the way and he hit Takeshita. Now, it looked like Okada accidentally hit Takeshita, but from Okada's body language, he was just laughing and it's like he meant to do that. And then the champions, well, that's when Takeshita left. He rolled out of the ring and he left Okada to deal with the champions by himself. So the champions took advantage, with Bandino delivering a 21-gun suplex to Okada for the win. So Bandino wins and retains the tag team championships. You know what? I called it, that the implosion was going to happen. I thought what was going to happen. I mean, it still happened, but not the way I thought it was going to happen. I thought that Takeshita was going to be the one to make the first move against Okada, but no, Okada was the first one. It looked like he accidentally hit the Rainmaker on Takeshita, but then afterward, he was laughing and smiling at him. It's like he meant to do it. Even though it looked like it was an accident, I don't think it was an accident. I don't. So what was the surprise here is that Okada was the one to actually get pinned here. You know what? I don't think I've ever seen Okada lose a match by pinfall or submission in AEW. So you know what? This was a nice surprise that Okada, he actually got pinned for once, and that Brodito actually retained the tag team championships. That was a nice surprise. It's a nice surprise that Brodito is not just a transitional champion, that they've actually had a couple of successful title defenses under their belt. Now, where do they go from here? I don't know, but I always love seeing Brodito. This is so far has been one of the best matches of the night so far. But man, it went a little long. It at 28 minutes. That's a little long for just a standard tag team match, right? But it was still pretty good. That's the only thing I could see people complaining, oh, this is too long, and I can't really fault them for that. For it being a tad long, you could have maybe shaved off 7-8 minutes off of it, and I feel like it wouldn't have been. It still could have felt long, but not super long. You know what I mean? So, okay. So what I think is going to happen. Excuse me. Damn. What I think is going to happen. Evidently, coming up in November, December, they're going to have the Continental Classic for the Unified Championship. I think what they should do, at this point, they should save the Takeshita and Okada match for the Continental Classic Finals at World's End. That's what in my opinion, that's what they should do. I think that's the only outcome for the Continental Classic that makes sense at this point. Because I thought they would have had Takeshita and Okada already. I thought they would have done it here at Wrestle Dream, and they didn't. So, just go ahead and save that match and have Takeshita be in the finals of the Continental Classic against Okada, and then you could maybe just go ahead and take the title off of Okada right then and there. I mean, that's what I would do. That's the outcome I think that makes the most sense. Will they do that? That remains to be seen, because they've already made one terrible fucking decision on this card, or not specifically as a match, but like down the road, what they're going to do is going to be, it's awful. Talking about Mercedes Moné potentially and very likely beating Chris Statlander to get the Women's World Championship. All right, now we're finally going to get to the match that I have up on the phone. Okay, now we have the AEW World Championship match between Hangman Adam Page and Samoa Joe. And this match, wow, this match actually took place under 20 minutes. I'm surprised by that. This was a really good match. This was a pretty good match. I gotta say the tag team match was a little bit better, but this was still pretty solid. Okay, so AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page entered last night's title defense, having never defeated Samoa Joe. 1/3 of the AEW World Trios champion Samoa Joe. That was easier said than done. Joe attacked Page with his trademark strikes and submissions, looking to make history with a second AEW World title reign. He punished Page, pushing him to the brink of defeat, but failing to put him away. Showing toughness and resilience, the champion fought back into the match with a "did-I" that nearly put Joe away. From there, Hangman flattened the challenger with the buckshot lariat and scored the pinfall victory. 1, 2, 3. I had predicted that Hangman Adam Page was going to win and retain, and I'm not exactly surprised here. But while it was a good match, this is what I think people are going to be talking about more so maybe than the match, what happened after the match. I did not see this shit coming at all. So after the match, the Ops' Powerhouse Hobbs and Shibata joined Hangman Adam Page and Samoa Joe in the ring. Just when it appeared as though Joe was about to show Adam Page the respect he earned, Samoa Joe turns heel and starts to beat the shit out of Adam Page. And Powerhouse Hobbs and Shibata join in on the beatdown to beat down Adam Page to end that segment. Joe delivered a muscle buster to Adam Page after the match into the World Championship and left with his teammates while security and medics checked on Adam Page. Now, I wonder why they turned Samoa Joe and the Ops heel. That, I did not see that shit fucking coming. If anybody says, "Oh yeah, I seen that shit coming," no, you're a liar. Why? It'll be interesting to know why they turned them heel. Is is Samoa Joe and Adam Page maybe going to have a rematch at Full Gear? And are they maybe planning on Samoa Joe taking the world title off of Adam Page? I have no fucking idea. I don't know. After that happened, I mean, that could be a possibility, but then here's the problem with that. You still have MJF with that Casino Gauntlet contract. So, like, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see for more answers. But, yeah. Damn. What the hell? That is, it was a very good physical match. But, man, the fact that Samoa Joe and the Ops turned heel and beat the hell out of Adam Page, that's crazy. I'm looking forward to exactly why. Will they give us an answer Wednesday? I hope they do. I don't know. But damn. You know what? Samoa Joe as a heel is pretty good. So, we'll see. Maybe this could work. Maybe they are going to have Samoa Joe take the title off of Adam Page. I have no idea. Him holding the World Trios title and the World title at the same time. I'll have to wait and see. We'll see what the reason is, and they very likely are going to have some sort of rematch at Full Gear coming up in November. So, yeah, now let's go ahead and get to the main event. We have the I Quit match between Darby Allin and Jon Moxley. Now, I said that I was looking very much forward to seeing what these two could do in a I Quit match, and I got to tell you, these two did not disappoint. I honestly thought this was way better than the coffin match, in my opinion, because like, oh god, mm. All right, we'll go into it. All right, so two of the toughest and most unpredictable and dangerous competitors in AEW settled their long rivalry in the main event of Wrestle Dream as Darby Allin and Jon Moxley squared off in an I Quit match. Marina Shafir played a role twice in the match early on, including moving Moxley out of harm's way and leaving Allin to crash and burn during a coffin drop attempt on the ring apron. Moxley punished his opponent with his own belt, he was whipping Darby Allin like a dog with that belt, trying to make him say, I quit. Oh, and there's also a spot in the fucking match. Ooh, Jon Moxley, you sick motherfucker, bro. Ooh, you sick fucker. Anyway, he gets, I don't know what they was. I don't know if it was like a screwdriver or it was some kind of tool that he was using, and he had put the tool under Darby Allin's fucking fingernails. Oh my god, you sick son of a bitch. You're watching too many horror movies. Like, I'm sorry, for anybody that has been subscribed to me for a while, you know I don't like fingernail shit in movies. Hell, there was even one part that what was it, in The Walking Dead? I think it was season 11 when Daryl Dixon was torturing a person. I would have to go back and rewatch it. It was season 11. He was torturing a guy and he then pulled this guy's fucking fingernail off. I'm like, fuck, Daryl, what the hell are you doing? I know he was like undercover for the what was that fucking group's name? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He was undercover and he was just going along with it. He didn't want to do it. But still, ooh, fingernail shit in movies and hell no. So that part where Jon Moxley was kind of digging under Darby Allin's fucking fingernails with that tool. Ooh, that legitimately fucking just creeped me the fuck out. Like, oh god, just like now that I'm not sitting there looking at it, I can just when I was watching it, I was fucking just like come on, dude, really? You're having me look away? Like, fuck this shit. So Moxley punished his opponent with his own belt. Okay, I already talked about that. I'm sorry if you hear any chewing behind me. That is Coco eating her food currently while I'm doing this. It's okay. We're almost done anyway. Okay, so yeah, he was so we're going to get to the part where Jon Moxley was whipping Darby Allin like a dog with his own belt in an attempt to get him to say the words I quit. The defiant Allin dared his opponent to bring more pain and suffering his way. The former world champion obliged. When Allin fired up, Moxley cut him off with a upper hand. Moxley answered with he had fucking lighter fluid he was pouring on Darby Allin, and Jon Moxley brought out a fucking taser, bro. And the taser was actually working because he was hitting the button and you could hear it just a crackling and shit like that. And when the first time when Jon Moxley was trying to hit Darby Allin with the damn taser, Darby Allin blocked it, but then that's when Mina Shafir came in from behind and she hit a low blow on Darby Allin, and then the second time he was able to just hit Darby Allin with that damn taser just a tiny little bit, and you can see him, he instantly fell, and he was like just convulsing a little bit from that damn hit with the taser. Like, my god, these two know how to fuck each other up in some sick ways. Oh my goodness gracious. And then, okay, so that flag that Darby Allin had with him when he climbed Mount Everest, there was a part where Darby Allin had choked Jon Moxley. He threw him over the ropes, and he was choking Jon Moxley with that same flag that he planted at Mount Everest. He was trying to get him to say, I quit, obviously, but no, he did not. So that's when the Death Riders were coming in there. They were trying to even the odds, and that's when the Death Riders were they had set up a pair of tables under the ring, and Claudio came in the ring. This shit was fucking insane. So Claudio came into the ring and he had picked up and he hoisted Darby Allin up in the air with both of his arms stretched high above his head, and you got two tables right there set up. It looked like he was just gonna drop Darby Allin on those two fucking tables. Well, no. He sees the announce table and he kind of runs a little bit and he fucking flings the shit out of Darby Allin on top of the announce table, and the impact it made, it sounded like bam. It sounded like in the commentary, it's like he's fucking dead. And my God, like it looked like he fucking, oh my God, the impact and the height of being thrown from almost the other side of the damn ring, he just fucking tosses them like garbage bags to the announce table. Jesus Christ, yeah. So, oh my goodness, like the commentary team is like, yeah, he's fucking dead. This match, oh my God. And then there's one part of the match where they end up getting an empty fish tank, and there's a jug of cold water that Jon Moxley pours in the fish tank, and then he grabs Darby Allin's head, and he has Darby Allin dunked under that fish tank with water for like 10 seconds at least, trying to get him to quit. And then when he doesn't, he does it again. He does it again for a second time. I don't think he does it for a third time, but yeah, once he doesn't quit from both times, he stops. And then this is where we're going to get to the end of the match. So, all of a sudden, the lights cut out in the arena, and then they cut back on, and it's Sting! It's Sting! He made his return! And Sting, oh my God, what is he, 60? He's in at least his mid-60, and at least in his mid-60s, and damn, Sting still looks fucking good, man. He had the whole white and black paint. His hair, obviously, he doesn't care about coloring his hair anymore, so he's got the gray hair. He's got the fucking goatee, and he's even got some paint through the goatee. I'm like, okay, this look is fucking badass. So that's when he's got his fucking bat, his signature baseball bat, and that's when he hits one member of the Death Riders, another, and then that's when he nails fucking Jon Moxley with the bat. And he helps clear out the Death Riders out of there. They get the fuck out of there. We don't see the Death Riders no more after that. And then Allin proceeds to punish the former world champion with the bat, and Darby Allin also hits Jon Moxley with the bat, and he delivers a Scorpion Death Drop, and also he hits him with a Coffin Drop. Allin applied the Scorpion Deathlock in the middle of the ring with the broken glass, because in the midst of Sting hitting all the Death Riders except for Mina Shafir, he ends up breaking that fish tank, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, the way you're fucking swinging that thing, is somebody gonna get cut with some glass? Oh man, so Darby Allin applies the Scorpion Deathlock, and right there, that's how Jon Moxley goes ahead and says, I quit, and Darby Allin wins the match. Now, was it the most extreme way for not Darby Allin, but was it the most extreme way for Jon Moxley to say, I quit? No. But I've heard some people say that this is the worst AEW ending of all time, even worse than when that exploding barbed wire death match took place. No, it's not as bad as that. Oh God, no. Nothing can't be worse than that exploding barbed wire death match, how that shit ended. That was so fucking bad, they haven't done that match again. No, this is not worse. No. It ain't nowhere near as bad as that. I don't know who in the fuck, I don't know, whoever's saying that is probably on drugs. I don't know. I don't know, bro. Or they're just an AEW hater looking for anything to say. Oh, yep. That's bad. There's nothing good about AEW. I could just, now, was it kind of like, could they have went a little bit more extreme with him? They could have, like, I don't know. Maybe they could have got some kind of, maybe Darby Allin, okay. Maybe Darby Allin could have got, I don't know, the lighter fluid and poured it all, and maybe he could have trapped Jon Moxley and then went and got the lighter fluid and poured it all over Jon Moxley and lit a match and said, if you don't quit, I'm going to set you on fire, you motherfucker. That would have been a reasonable situation to say, I quit. Now, would the ending be better praised? I think so. I didn't mind how it ended, but they could have. I agree they could have went a little bit more extreme as far as getting John Moxley to say I quit. I would agree with that. Maybe he could have, I don't know, maybe he could have handcuffed John Moxley to the ropes or some shit, or I don't know. Found a way to like if you don't say it, I'm gonna throw this match on you, you know. I think that would have been a more effective ending. Now, do I think this rivalry is over? Probably not. I could see them having another match at Full Gear, but I so much more enjoyed this match than I did the coffin match, and the fact that we got to see Sting for probably the last time, that was fucking great. Oh man, did any? I don't think anybody called Sting coming back. Man, that was a nice surprise. That was cool as hell. That was definitely cool as hell. Yeah, these two delivered punishment on each other. They endured punishment, and yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good in my opinion. And like I said, since Double or Nothing, AEW has been hitting on all of their pay-per-views, in my opinion, this year. Because Dynasty was so fucking bad. They knew they had to deliver with each and every pay-per-view, and in my opinion, they have done that since. Will they be able to keep up the momentum with Full Gear? Well, with one match, we'll see. But I don't think I have anything else to add, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and go, so I can go ahead and get this uploaded and get this out hopefully by Sunday, but we'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go and get out of here so I can get this ready for YouTube, and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support and for stopping by. And if you're new, welcome on in for the very first time. I'm glad to have your support and thank you for your time. I am Buck Beak, and I'm going to go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.